Who? Oh, okay. Welcome. Okay, welcome, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am. Are you lucky, ma'am? Miss Hale? I'm gonna need y'all to be a little bit more stationary. Okay. I think I'm on track. I think I've got everything laid out. Good morning. And welcome to Getting Ready with Juno. So, starting our day a little off key. Woke up a little late, but that's okay. We're gonna get things back on track. And doing things a little differently today. I have my team in my ear to help me with the commentary so that we can still communicate and we can still engage. And there might be a slight delay, but that's okay. These are the things that we work out and we find problems and we find solutions together. So, and apparently my team likes my hair like this, but this is wake up late in the morning hair that I haven't even brushed yet, so. So, I'm going to be doing an interesting look today. I'm thinking, since yesterday was word of the day, illuminate. Good morning, love. I'm thinking, ooh, if I can keep my team on track and in my ear, I'm thinking that we do an interesting look based on that. I am wearing a darker shirt today, but I want to bring light and illuminate up here. So, we're gonna see if we can't translate that somehow. I'm gonna have to put my team down for a minute until I get my hair out of the way. I tell you, isn't it an amazing world we live in? I can stick 5 or 6 people in this little thing. Well, bear with me, because apparently I just tossed them all over the place. There we go. We're back. Just experiencing a few slight technical difficulties this morning is all. We're getting there. We're getting there. We are gonna make this work one way or another. Sometimes we just have to adapt and overcome, realign, redirect. Re-engage. Hold on a second. Fighting with my systems over here. Ah, got you. Okay. Now I can put them back in my ear, I think. Y'all okay in there? Okay. They're all hollering and yelling at me now. Anywho, let's see. Light, light, light. Gold makes a lot of good light, so we'll go with that. Yep. My team already hollering, hold on, we might get dropped. I can already tell these guys are gonna be a distraction in my ear the whole time. But that's okay, because it brings a smile to my face, because I love my team. My team are awesome. They give me what I need to smile and break out of a bad mood. They love me so much. They can't wait for me to give them more work already. So we're gonna get back on track now. I'm gonna start pulling out our products and things here. And I need some more of this because I'm running out of it. So I'm gonna have to go and find my way to an Ulta at some point in time. Yay. Okay. So today's look, illuminate. I'm not gonna tell you what it's called yet, this particular look, because you're not gonna be able to see it all until after I get complete. But we're gonna be focusing on bringing light up here, light into the face, light into the look. We're gonna illuminate the feel of the makeup today. Excuse me, just trying to get some goopity gop out of my eyes. There we go. Let's see. And since we're focusing on that, let's take a look. Let's take a look at what colors we can grab. Let's see. All right. So, I'm thinking right here, this one's a really good one to bring a lot of light to a look, as well as some of these golds in here. So we're gonna look at those. We can let's see. What can we pull for light? What can be available for illumination? Got a nice pretty yellow and a silver in this one that I really like. I've been wanting to find a way to use these two. So I'm gonna hold on to that. I'm gonna hold on to this. This is the Failure to Fabulous WV Wild Quad. This one I think is, nope, I don't need this one or this one because these are the warm tones and the cool tones. Put those away. What else have we got in here? Looking. So I think that's what we're gonna do. I think we're gonna go with silvers and golds, yellows and whites. That is gonna give us the looks and the colors that we're looking for. And we'll go from here. So we'll start our routine as a normal routine. I'm also going to do this sort of like a tutorial live today. That way I'm not focusing on any particular subject and having to try to elaborate and expand on a subject's message and information. I'm just going to focus on the makeup as a whole, as the cosmetics. I hadn't done this in a little while, so I think it's nice to kind of go back to it, bring focus back to the indie brands that have helped make JEM what it is today. And in case you're not aware, those brands are Arise Cosmetics and Drake Cosmetics. Both of those brands, indie companies, have brought to me a whole new range of cosmetics that I did not have any intention, any idea that I would get into. They have brought me products of amazing quality within affordable pricing, and they are just absolutely gorgeous. Just the wonderful, wonderful two companies. This obviously isn't something that they've made, but I got this from Drake Cosmetics. This was in one of their little goodie bags that they like to give in all of their purchases. And so just a standard hand cream. Why? Because you work with your hands. You have to take care of your hands. So it just kind of works together, goes along with. And so got that underway. We've got our hair out of the way. We're going to take our glasses off. So now I am fully relying on my team and their ability to read me your comments. So again, I asked is to be patient if you put a comment in the component there during the live, because I cannot read them because of my eyesight. My team is going to have to read them to me, and so it may take a moment for them to get it in my ear. So I'm going to start off with my retinaldehyde cream serum. This is the 0.10%. There's another version of this, a 0.05. If you haven't tried one of these yet, definitely try the 0.05 first and go through the whole tube just to make sure that everything works well. Some people have a slight reaction to some of these products. So we are going to apply this to the face. All over. It does not have to be thick. It is a serum. It's designed to be soaked into the skin. And so you do not want to oversaturate your face with this. I usually use just a single pump and do 1/3 of my face, and then I will move over to the other side and do another third. And so we are going to make sure that is fully incorporated in. And make sure when you hit the eye sections, make sure you're using this ring finger on those eye components there, because that is some very soft, very tender parts of the face, very tender skin areas, and you don't want to accidentally cause irritation or damage there. We are going to now put in the second third of the face. Again, a single pump will do just fine. There is plenty that comes out of the little tube here, and you just get it spread all over into all the spaces so that it can start to absorb into that skin. Now, retinaldehyde is designed to help with fine lines. It is designed to help smooth out some of the toning of the face. I love this stuff. I can tell when I stop using this particular product, because as much as it's helping you, it is also something that you have to have a routine on. You have to keep up with it. I usually will stop using this for about a month after I've used it, the full tube, and that's again simply so that I can rest my face and I'm not constantly overwhelming it with the product. I do not like overwhelming my face with products, simply because I feel that there's only so much that your face can absorb, number one. Number two, it is very, very time consuming to do this constantly. And I've seen some people out there with like these 2 and 3 and 4 hour facial routines. I get it. And I'm not faulting anybody for doing that, and maybe later on in life I may do some of those myself when I have more time. But you know, being a stay-at-home parent and somebody who runs and operates within an organization such as JEM, I don't have that kind of time to sit and dedicate to my face. This is my me time right now. This is why I get up as early as I do in the mornings. I'm here every day at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to do my makeup, to communicate with you, to talk, to show you the things that I do, have good conversation, build your positivity. This is how we start our day. This is how we start our day good. Start it off right, start it on the right foot. And when you start a day building on positivity, when you start a day doing the things that you love, your day cannot possibly get bad, any worse by the end of it than if you hadn't. Because think of it like you're starting off on a higher plane. You're starting off at a higher level. So if you start off at level 12, and as the day goes on, you lose 6 levels, you're still at level 6. Versus starting at level 6 and you lose 6 levels, you're starting at the bottom. So you start your day in a positive light. You start your day way up here, as high as you can make it. You start your day, so that by the end of the day, no matter what has happened, it will always end off a little bit better than it could have. That's why you do it. That's why you get up out of the bed. That's why you do the things that you need to do to start your day right. Manifest positivity. Multipeptide advanced serum. This has ferulic acid and collagen in it. Again, this is to help with blemishes of the face, little slight imperfections, things like that. And again, we do thirds at a time. We do thirds at a time, and we just work it in. It is, again, another serum designed to be absorbed into the skin. And as you saw, I kind of gave my face a moment to rest in between the first product and the second product. And the reason for that is, again, to give your face a chance to really fully incorporate that product. Let that product get in there good before you start applying a second product, because you don't want to overwhelm your face. Again, you know the old concept, take your time. We tell you that ever since you were tiny, you were little bitty. Slow down, one step at a time. Same concept. It's a good way to teach yourself decent speed, a decent way to slow down your routines. You give yourself about a minute or two, usually 2 if you can, minutes in between products. And that's a good enough time for your face to really sort of absorb the vitamins, the minerals, the components that you're adding to it. And this is for health. This is why we're doing it. We're doing it not just to help deal with blemishes and things like that, but it's giving your face much needed attention. Just like anything else in life, you want something to improve. You want something to last. You want something to withstand time. You have to take care of it. You have to do the things that are necessary to protect it. Think of it like a porch deck made of wood. When you first build it and you first give it that first stain, it looks beautiful. It's perfect. It's exactly what you wanted to get. But as time moves on, you have to maintain that deck. You have to restain it every couple of years. You have to make sure that you're not doing things on or around it that's going to cause it irreparable damage. And over the course of the next 30, 40, 50 years, as long as you're taking care of it, it's going to remain looking as beautiful as the first day you put it together, with obvious adaptations due to what has happened to it, the events that have occurred to that deck. But let's say you didn't take care of the deck. Let's say you didn't reapply the stain every 5 or 6 years as the stain indicated. Your deck starts to do what? It starts to dry out. It starts to discolor. The wood starts to warp and break and crack. And the deck, you see the visible wear that has occurred through the elements, through the experiences that it has had. The rails start to fall off because they haven't been maintained. They haven't been taken care of. This is that process. Just like you would with a deck, and restain it every couple of years to help protect it, keep it out of the winds and the rains. You're doing the same thing for your face. You are taking care of it, you are protecting it, and you are giving back to it the things that it's losing between treatments. We're human beings. We age. Our skin tends to react to the environments that we're in. It reacts to the things that we expose it to. And so we have to take care of it. And for those of us that do cosmetics, we know more than anybody else how important taking care of your canvas, because makeup is an art. Cosmetics is an art form. You have to take care of your canvas because it's a living canvas. And if you're not taking care of your canvas, you're not going to be able to do your art for very long. Your art is going to change over time and become harder to maintain and harder to apply, harder to get the same looks that you recall making before. So we have to take care of it. We have to do the things to it that we need to keep it lasting as long as we can. This is the next product that I'm using. This is Clinique. Excuse me. And I do buy these. I buy all 3 of these products from Ulta. Excuse me. Let me get some water here. So All three of these products from Ulta, but you could probably get them at Sephora, online, whatever the case may be. This is a dramatically different moisturizing gel that is oil-free. I love this product. This has taken the place of all my other moisturizers that I used to put on my face. I used to use like 2 and 3 different ones because they all had different things, and some of them would last longer than others. But this stuff right here lasts me all day. It does very well as a base underneath all of my cosmetics and keeps my face hydrated, so that by the end of the day, my face is not as tired, as worn out as it could be. I wear my makeup over 12 hours a day, every day. And that's a lot. That is an incredible amount of time for the kind of cosmetics and makeup that I wear, simply because I don't do just a simple splash of foundation and some mascara, which is fine if that's what you do, because it's very simple, it's very basic. It's still gives you an engaging sense of self. If that works for you, that is amazing. I applaud you for that. I can't do that. I struggle with that very much so, because partially because of my own personal dysphorias and issues like that. But so I do full faces of makeup. I use the contours, I use the highlighters, I use blushes, I use, of course, eyeshadows and oils and everything else that you might think of, because this is what I like to do. I enjoy putting on whole new pieces of art every single day. It makes me feel better. It makes me more approachable when it comes to communicating with a lot of people. And it gives me a sense of connection. It gives me, in a life that I have lived, where I felt like I had no natural talent. I felt like I had no natural ability to do anything. I had to teach myself everything I've known. To do my makeup, and to have learned the things that I've learned, and to have gotten the feedback that I have gotten, not just from my team, but by those of you out here that I communicate with on a daily basis. It has given me a much needed boost of my own self-confidence. It has helped me to be happier with my own work, with my skills, with my abilities. And so I feel like I have finally found my talent, the talent that I was missing for so long in my life, the thing that I know that I can do fairly well, or at least believe that I do fairly well. And so I cling to that. I want to hold on to that, because I've always wanted to have a skill, something that I could do naturally, that I didn't have to rely on everyone else to do for me. I always felt like people could do things better than me. But in this case, I have cosmetics, I have makeup. So, excuse me, next product, Rise Cosmetics. This is one of my favorite brands. This is the first brand I ever engaged with when it came to cosmetics. Rise Cosmetics, this is based out of West Virginia. They have a pore refining primer here that does really, really well for preparing the face. All the stuff you saw before, that is facial care. Now we're moving into the actual cosmetic side of the house. And Arise, if you're looking for a brand to start with, if you're looking for a brand of cosmetics that is quality, yet affordable, yet very, very, very good, start with Arise. And Drake. I have another company that I do a lot with, Drake Cosmetics. Both of these guys are like the duo, the team. These guys work together so well, these two companies. Oh, goodness. And I'm going to show you why in just a few moments. Number one, those two companies have known each other for quite some time. Drake Cosmetics is about 4 or 5 years old. as a company, and Arise Cosmetics is about to have its 2nd year anniversary. And so I'm so happy to be associated with these companies, especially during some of their early years and their early moments of accomplishments, because it's giving me a chance to really watch these two companies grow. And with the products that these companies already produce, I already know that these two companies are going to become absolutely amazing components within the cosmetics franchises. And the fact that they're indie companies just makes it that much better, because they are small businesses. They are people within the community who are trying to grow, produce quality product within a world that is overwhelmed with big business. A world that's just overrun with greed and how fast they can put products out and how cheaply they can make that product. Indie companies are a little different. Indie companies typically put a lot more love and care into their products. They do a little bit more. They want to make sure that their products are worth purchasing, which is kind of why indie products are just a tiny bit more expensive than the cheap line brands that are out there. But you're gonna get the quality that you're looking for in a big name brand. And on top of all that, you help out small business. So with this pore refining primer, I'm doing the same thing I did with the facial care products. Getting a thin layer all the way across the face. Again, just a little bit goes a long way. That little drop will do a whole third of my face. And some of you may even be able to use less, depending on how well you need it, how big or small your individual face could be. For me, 3 works out just fine. Again, using that ring finger around the eye areas, because it gives less pressure. It's going to be a lot smoother and easier on those sensitive areas of the face. Now what this is doing, this particular primer, it is helping to reduce the size of the pores while not clogging the pores. It is helping to reduce the imperfections in the face, all the adjustments where, because the face is not a straight flat surface. It is porous. It has all kinds of little imperfections that make it not straight, not smooth. And so this helps to give you a smoother surface to work with. It does wonders. If you're not using a primer underneath your makeup, try it. Try this product. It's really easy to use. It doesn't take anything away. All it does is help to enhance your overall look. So we're gonna put that one away. And now we're gonna move into my personal choice. I like to use an all-over concealer. I am currently using IT brand Bye Bye Under Eye. I have used this ever since I got into cosmetics. This is an amazing concealer. Originally was designed for these areas here, up underneath the eyes, to help conceal dark rings and, of course, bags and stuff of that nature. That's why it's called Bye Bye Under Eye. It was designed very specifically as a full coverage up under here to kind of help melt that away into the look. I use it as a complete coverage. I use it all over the face. It gives me a good smooth surface and helps hide any and all imperfections that occur within your natural face. We all develop darker spots here and there. We all develop imperfections within our face. Those are just things that help make you more unique. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But when doing cosmetics and trying to do cosmetics on a professional level, You want to start with a smoother surface. You want to start with a cleaner surface, all one tone and color, so that the other components and parts that you place on your face don't have to contend with other imperfections. So, just a little small amount. Again, this stuff goes a very, very long way. And we dab it all over. Give it a good spread. And I do like to use a sponge in this case, like my little diamond sponge. Some people will do this with brushes. Some people do this with their hands. I prefer a sponge. One, because the sponge allows me to give a little bit of extra pressure against the face. Not much, just a little. And it kind of helps push that product in and outward. Helps to spread the product out. And it's not going to leave any brush strokes. It's not going to leave any imperfected, sticky, segments there, because it's going to press everything out, leave a smooth finish. Turn my other light on here so I can see a little better. And when I do this, and you work with your sponges, always wet your sponges. I do wet my sponges, I soak them with water. And the reason you do that with a sponge is exactly because of the name. It's a sponge. And if you use a dry sponge, the only thing it's going to do is going to soak up as much of that product as it possibly can. So when you pre-wet your sponges, they are going to fill to capacity, and so they do not have the ability to suck in as much product. And so you also get a much smoother finish when you do that, because you fill the sponge, it becomes wider, it becomes bigger, it becomes fatter, and so you can actually do more coverage in area as well. So, and as you can see, again, that one single little amount did this entire third of my face here. And do you see the difference? It literally just gives you a single tone across the face so that you're not contending with all these blemishes that occur. Nothing wrong with your blemishes. Everybody has them. Everybody gets them. They develop over time. Good morning, Dawn. Welcome to our live this morning. We are going through a makeup format of a tutorial today, just sort of covering the products that we use and how we use them. And we're doing the same thing to this side here. We're spreading that product. We're making sure it gets all over. Now you see the huge difference in what it was before and what it is now. It is why they call it a concealer. It is concealing imperfections that you want to hide away so that you have a better surface to work with. And this is our last third of the face here. Same thing. We're just getting a good solid spread. And I like doing it this way because this gives me a one single toned canvas to work with. I don't have to worry about colors looking different in certain parts of the face versus others because I've taken away any shadowing from any other tones that are here. So Dawn, in reference to what you commented there, this particular channel is my channel, my own personal channel. And the reason I'm still doing the lives here is because my channel has the ability to go live. We are still missing a couple of subscriptions for the JEM Support Network channel. And then once we get those up, I'm going to transfer all of our lives over to them. We will still maintain our routine. Again, we're doing this here just so I can keep in routine with our live schedule. And then eventually we will get over to the JEM network once we get their subscriptions up. In the meantime, it's nice that we have this alternate avenue to use here. And so it's giving us also a chance for me to test some of the features and get the better understanding of how the live works before we get into an official channel page. That way that channel page can go and get started off without as many hiccups as I've had over here. Okay, so we have a concealer all over our face. I am now going to find my plain mattifying setting powder. I like to use setting powder. I do it twice because setting powder gives you a dry surface to work with. It helps set that product into place, and it helps again to smooth out imperfections within the face. Now we're talking blurring. If you might have heard people mention blurring before, if you've ever watched a cosmetics video, setting powder gives you that more mattifying look. Sometimes it's just shimmering, but it just blends everything together to make it look more natural, to make it look smoother, to give it a more professional finish. And on top of that, exactly what it's called, setting. It sets your makeup in place so it doesn't move as you apply other makeup. It doesn't pull away from the face throughout the day as your body starts to heat up and cool down. It just sort of keeps everything where it belongs for the duration of the time that you're wearing it. And you get a good overall coverage. And again, just sort of keeps everything in place for you. I think I need to adapt my desk a little bit better. Got too many products on it. Excuse me for just a minute. Just realized I hadn't plugged you guys in. There you go. Okay. My face is now prepped and ready for cosmetics. At least, in my opinion, it is. So, now I can start digging into, and we can do what I like to do is engage with the actual palettes, the colors themselves. I am going to be using two different palettes today because of the colors that I want to use. The first one of which is the Betty Peach palette. This is a product of a friend of mine called Brand Bearer. And look at these absolutely beautiful colors that he has there. This is an amazing collection palette here. I love the case. I love the little mirror that's in it. If you want to see a little bit about who they are, there you go. And so we have that. And we also have this cute little From Fabulous to Fab quad right here. And I'm going after this one. This is the Wet n Wild version here. I'm going after this one because I want to access the silver and the yellow that's in this. Because again, we're going for a bright look today. We're going for an illuminating look today. So we're going after that. And again, in case I missed it, that is Arise Cosmetics. These companies, this company here, you can get a discount if you want to try any of the products that I'm showing you today. Just use my JEM code, JEM24, on their website, and you can get a discount off of the products that you purchase. So, with that being said, let's dig into this. And I'm thinking, I hadn't done a cut crease look in a little while, so I'm thinking that's what I want to do today. We're gonna dig into a cut crease look here. And so what I want to do is I'm gonna focus on the yellows first. So I'm going to take the yellow here out of the Fab to Fabulous quad. Get a good heavy dose of that on our brush. And we're gonna start up high, and we're gonna go all the way across and into the shape that we're looking for today. Now, I am light skinned, so yellow on my skin is not going to be as bright or as vivid as I might like. However, there are things that I can do to brighten this up. Things that I can do to help make this pop a little bit more. And some of that is going to be adding shimmer and sparkle to it, which is why I'm also going to be looking at some of the golds that we saw in the Betty Peach palette. But I wanted to use this light yellow color here in order to get a good base, a good outline, a good shape going. And it's going to give me a little direction as well, so that I can still see where I want to place everything. And it's very easily adjustable and adaptable, especially with my skin tone, because I can either hide it away if I make a mistake, or I can enhance it even more if I want that particular part to shine or show up. But it gives me a good base to work with. It gives me a good foundation to build off of. I think that's about a good solid shape right there. We're gonna go into the other side here. And all we're doing here is we're just matching up with the other side, the first side that we did. Just sort of getting all that color in place, making sure that our design is as even and as equal as we can make it. When you do cosmetics and you start really focusing in on your own face, you start to notice that this half of your face and this half of your face are two different faces, completely different faces. The way your eye is shaped, the way your brow is positioned, everything is unique here. Another one of the reasons why each and every one of us doesn't look alike. It is so hard to find symmetry in a world of imperfections. When you look at nature, it's very hard to find 90-degree angles and straight lines. Your face is no different. It's not easy to find symmetrical faces in the world. And when those few individuals that come along that do have one, people immediately notice. They immediately pick up on it. And those people have this sort of rare beauty that many of us don't get to experience. But it doesn't make you any less of a person. It doesn't mean that you yourself are supposed to strive to be that way. It just means that you are a little different, and you have to do things a little bit differently. that's fine, because you're not alone. You've got so many other people in the world with you that are going through and dealing with that same thought, that same idea. So, we have our yellow, we have our basic shape going here. We're gonna take some gold and we're going to apply it over the top of this. And what that gold is gonna do is give us that shimmer, and that yellow underneath is gonna do is give us that a little bit more bright. Again, we're looking at illumination today. We want to create a look that is bright, that is welcoming, that gives us a feeling of comfort. And here we go. And I'm only going across the very top of this with this gold, just to give that shimmer in there. And look at how bright, how much brighter that's already given this, a little bit more dimension as well. Because now those colors are getting picked up. We've got light that's getting shown across the look. And again, that yellow is kind of making it brighter because there's no section of that section of the eye that's missing pigment now. So we have extra pigment to work with. It's just enhancing the gold. When you're working with colors, sometimes layering of your colors gives you a much different look and feel than it could have done all by itself. See how much brighter the look is. And because of the different tones in the shimmer, certain sections where the face pulls out and pulls back in and then pulls out gives you a different shade. So now with just a single color, we're getting a whole range of colors that move and adjust with us. It's what light does, isn't it? Light changes and adapts depending on where in the room it is, how far away you are from the source. It's the beautiful part about light. It illuminates, but it also enhances. It allows us to see the more intricate details of the world around us. Okay, now we're going to come across the bottom half here. And we're going to finish up the bottom section of this look. Now, we're going to do the exact same thing. I have a nice bright shimmer that I have over here that I want to use, but I am going to use this lighter shimmer here in order to give a good solid background, because I really want the light to show up in this look. So we get a good heavy dose of our pigmentation and put it in place. A little bit silver, a little gold. And as you can see, now these two colors are really starting to work together. One helps to enhance the other and vice versa, because now we're putting in depth. We're putting in some differences, some change. When it comes to makeup, you start to find that a number of colors work really well with each other. I personally have not found too many situations where any colors you choose don't work together in some way, depending on the look you're trying to achieve, depending on the ultimate end result that you come out with. How that look makes you feel, it changes the vibe of things. It changes how we see it and how we feel about it. And there. And as pretty as this color is, we're gonna cover it back up with another bright, shiny, shimmery color. because again, this particular color is going to be our base. It's our background to help bring out the shine and the shimmer of this other color here. Very subtle, but it is giving us that glimmery look that we were looking for. Again, this particular look, we're looking for bringing illumination to this look. I'm wearing a very dark colored shirt for a reason, because I'm almost kind of making a look that makes a point. The name of this look is going to make a whole lot more sense once we finish it. Okay, so now that we have that good solid base, we have a lot of light and shimmer and glitter happening here. We're gonna move on into our foundations. When I do my makeup a little differently than I see a lot of other folks. I only do the basics when it comes to the eyes, and then I do all of my other fine products, and then I come back and I do the details. Yes, ma'am? That's yours.
Love you.
Love you too. Same?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think the only thing that's updated is the back.
Okay. And once again, we're going to be using a rise. Now here's where we're going to see the dynamic duo really work together. These two products are amazing together. Drake's setting powders and Arise Cosmetics foundations. The foundations that I'm using today are the liquid matte foundations from Arise Cosmetics. These come in a variety of shades. I think there's 24 of them. And I actually, for my own particular shade, I use two different ones. I use the L7 and the L13. And mixed together, these two give a very close representation of my natural skin tone. And so, get these off of here. And if you are interested in trying any of these products, or these products, they do have samples available. You can get a small sample pack of the foundations. You get to pick 3 independent colors to use. They come in little small discs just like this, and these are enough to really do 1 or 2 or even 3 depending on how much you use, so that you can get an idea of what color you want and what you need. And then Drake also, the setting powder that we're going to use, has a sample pack where you can actually get all of their colors within either their hydrating or their mattifying sets. And so you can actually come out with all of their colors in one sample pack, and that way you can give it a try. You can give each and every one of them an opportunity to try just a small amount of the product before you commit to buying a whole set. And yes, my discount code JEM24 does work on that. So you can even get it even cheaper, which is always fun. Now, going back to our sponges, if you can see here, I am using a different sponge. I do use a different sponge for my concealer and a different sponge for my foundations because of the color differences, and this helps to eliminate cross-contamination of color for me. And so, 1 pump of one pump of the other. So that's 2 pumps out of my foundations. And let's see if I can get the entire bottom half of my face there with just this one dab. Spread it around while it's still heavily wet. and you have both colors to work with. And now we're gonna blend everything together. Beautiful thing when you're dealing with liquid colors like these, you don't have to pre-mix. You don't have to go ahead and get them all blended together in the right shade before you use them. They're gonna blend together the more you tap, the more you spread that product around. The two colors are going to intertwine together. They're going to give you the tone that you're looking for. Give me just a second. Let me get my team out of my ear so I can get back here. There we go. There we are. And just like that. Now, I know some of y'all might be thinking, but the tone in your face is not matching the rest of your body here. Well, that's because this is just simply a foundation. This is giving it as close to a connection as I can make. But the contours and the highlights that we're going to put in later are going to blend everything together. You also have to keep in mind that my face is out away from my body a little bit further than my chest here. This is all pulled back. So this is going to have a darker tone due to shadowing and due to the way that light hits. So you have to keep that in mind. When you're working full faces of cosmetics like I do, light and shadow come into play quite heavily. And so we're gonna play with those here in just a little bit and show you how playing with light and shadow can actually change an outlook of an image. And here we are. I'm gonna go do this again. I'm only doing half pumps this time because I don't want as much, because all I'm doing now is the top half here. But as you can see, you got the two different tones that are there. And the more you tap, the better it blends. And the more even of a tone you're gonna get. So when mixing foundation colors like that to find your particular shade, you don't have to do a whole lot. Once you discover what combination works best for you, you just stick it on your sponge and you press it into place. This is another reason why I only do the bare basics when it comes to my eyes before my foundation, because I'm trying to avoid the fallout that occurs, the pigmentation from what I was using before that falls down on my cheek. I have very minimal fallout nowadays, and if I do get some, the foundation just covers it right up. And then later when I come back and do the details can be worked out with a lot more accuracy. Okay. So now that we have... Good morning, Rachel. How are you this morning, love? You showed up. You always show up just in time to see the dynamic duo at its best. So, I am going to go with the banana colored setting powder by Drake. Again, when I said you can get that sample pack, they have colors ranging from pink, lavender, cocoa. They have what they call a banana color or lemon. And each of these colors do something slightly different when you use them. They give you a different tone of highlight. They give you a different feel, a different vibe. They add something a little bit different to what you've got going on here. I'm doing absolutely amazing, love. I am going through just a whole rundown of the cosmetics that I'm using today. We're going for a very specific look today. We're working with the idea of illumination. And so we're bringing light to a dark space here. And so we get okay. So here is everything before we start with the foundation, with the setting powder. This is strictly foundation at this point. All right, let's see what our setting powder does. You see that blurring effect that's occurring there? It's giving this a much smoother, more natural feel. That yellow's giving us a little bit of a different highlight. Notice how much brighter this side of the face is from this side, even though this has got some shine to it. This is a bit more mattifying. Let's do that again on this other side. So again, untreated, treated. Are you seeing that difference? There we go. Oop, lost our light. And again, setting powder does two things. Not only does it give us that blur, does it mix and blend everything together? Does it do all of the highlighting and the look and the image changing that I said the different colors can do? But it also does exactly what it's named. It sets your makeup in place so that your makeup doesn't move. It doesn't get adjusted easily. You can't just touch it and it disappear or get imprinted. This is nice, especially when you deal with a young child like I have a 3-year-old at home. She's actually sitting right over there, still sleeping, luckily. Because this way she can touch my face and I don't have to worry so much about the makeup getting moved or distorted or damaged. Because this setting powder helps set in place everything. It fits in all the nooks and crannies. It does that because it is an extremely fine powder. Let's see if I can get some of that there. How fine that powder is. And look, because of how fine it is, they have to put this little mesh net in there to help kind of keep it from flying out every time you dab. Even though you still get a little bit. That's how fine this powder is. So it sets down in all the different creases of your face and helps fill that in. It smooths all of that out. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous products. That right there is the reason they consider these products the dynamic duo. They work so well together. 2 different companies, 2 different brands, yet they work so well seamlessly together, and they know it. These 2 companies are good friends with one another. And so my discount code works at both. Good morning, Blue. How are you this morning, love? Welcome to our live this morning. We're bringing illumination to today's look. So, now that we have a foundation on our face, we have a clean palette to work with, we're gonna pull out some contour. Now, contour scares people, but I'm gonna teach you how to look at contour in a way that it shouldn't be nearly as scary. This is the No Scalpel Needed palette. This is actually palette B. Palette A, palette B. The only difference between these 2 palettes is the range of tones that are in these. I like palette B because palette B, the tones are much closer to each other and they're a little warmer. Palette A is got a much wider range. It's got a much darker dark tone. It's got a much lighter light tone. And so the range is much greater. But depending on which one you want, or maybe you need both, like I have, in case I want to use one color from one and a color from another. But contour. You woke up, Blue? That's some awesome love. We've missed you. We missed you yesterday for sure. That's okay, Blue, if it makes you feel any better. I overslept this morning. So, with our palette right here, I want you to look at this as shadow. Don't think of it as contour, even though it is. Look at it as shadow, because it is. Contouring is dealing with the shadows, the natural shadows that would appear in your face. So let's go with this darker one here. Let's get a little bit of the darker, and hey, guess what? We're gonna tab a little bit of a lighter color in too, just to mix them together. Why not? Another creator, Mother Demon or Yaya, does that. Well, she'll tab a couple of one color and another just to kind of give it a slight mix for her own personal looks. That's where I learned it from. And you're gonna apply shadow in the natural spaces where your face would dip under or dip in. So one of the prime looks that most people look for when it comes to the shape of someone's face or cosmetics is underneath your cheekbone. Your cheekbone is typically one of the highest points on your face. And so underneath that would be a little shadow. It doesn't have to be huge, just enough to kind of give you that look. And look, immediately my face shape is changing. This is what shadow does. It gives your face more definition, gives your face more contouring, hence the name. And we just blend that in to give it a more natural feel. And just like that, using a little bit of shadow into a muted face gives your face dimension, gives your face more shape. And the beautiful part about this is you can do it and adjust it any way that you prefer. Because you know what? It's your face. This is your product. This is your makeup. So you make it yours. You make it your own personal look, your own personal design. Every time you do makeup, you're making a unique piece of art. Look at it like that. I want to darken this up just a little. Look at it like that. You're doing art every day. And even if you have a very specific style, even if you like to use the same colors over and over again, each and every time you're making a unique piece of art. Because each and every time you put your makeup on, it's gonna be slightly different. It's gonna be a little unique because that day you gave it more time or less time. That day you put on just a little bit more or less of the product. You may have brushed it with a different brush or had a different mood when you were applying. Yes, mood does change how our makeup comes out. I've done makeup every day for the better part of 3 years now. And I'll tell you, the mood you're in when you do your makeup changes that outcome in a very, very dramatic way. The colors you use can even change your mood. So if you are in a gloomy mood, or if you just feel like there's a shadow in your life that's just bringing you down, sometimes bringing a little light to your look can help boost your mood back up, help give you back a little bit of positivity that you're missing. So, underneath the chin, we did, because again, this is where the the face curves inward. It comes back. This no longer out in the open, it's underneath everything. So this gets shadow, just like that. And again, the face changes and adapts. Let's go in on the side of the nose here. The very top of the nose isn't in light all the time, but the sides of the nose, that curves inward, it cuts in. So I like to put some shadow in there. Because again, remember I muted the face, so it's harder to see the definition of the nose. So when we add that shadow, we give our nose more dimension. We let it expand and pop on the face. And a neat trick, if you struggle with your nose, if your nose is a very dysphoric piece of your face, you think it's too big or too little, you can use shadow and light to help shape it in a way that you do like, that does work for you. The higher, snatch the nose, the higher you bring your contour, the smaller you can actually make your nose look and appear. Because again, you're reducing the space that's being exposed to that light. Just like that. And you see how much different that shadow made to the nose. Now you're getting a lot more dimension in it. And then we're gonna come up to the top. This is where a lot of people like to go with what they call bronzer. I just use contour. I don't see the difference in contour, in bronzer versus contour, mainly because bronzer literally just has a little bit more red or orange or tone to it, a little bit more color and depth versus being just shadow. And so I just use a much brighter contour, a nice one there, and it does the same thing, gives that bit of dimension. This is the top of the head, remember. Your head is like a ball, rounded, okay? So the top is still getting exposed to light, but it pulls back. It's pulling away from the front of the face, and this is where we want the focus. So we don't need as dark a contour as we use down here. We can use a brighter tone or a bronzer, as others might say. And it just sort of helps to blend your face and your makeup right back into your hairline and give you that more rounded, natural feel. Good morning, Andy. How are you this morning, love? Okay. And for anyone who's just recently joining us here, keep in mind, I have my team in my ear who is reading the commentary or the comments to me because I cannot see the comment section of the live videos. My eyesight is just not strong enough to pick up on it, and it disappears on me too fast for me to read it without me doing a lot of this like I used to do, okay? And so there might be a slight delay in my responses, but this is actually working very well for us. Good morning, Ezra. How are you this morning, love? And so this last set of the contour palette here, this is really designed to be a brighter contour, but I like to use it as a mattifying highlight. As you see, I'm using it in some slightly different areas. I'm using it in the high points of my face, and it gives me just a little bit more depth, a little bit more dimension. It's mattifying, so it's not bringing any like additional brightness to the face. It's just giving it a little bit more of a lighter tone. Oh, I'm sorry, Andy, but I'm glad you're feeling better. That's always a good thing. And those additional procedures that you're gonna have done, they're designed to help you. So I know sometimes they may be uncomfortable or they may be a little scary, especially in the names. but you're strong, you're tough, and I know you're going to work through it. And you have all of us behind you all the way. A little bit of shadow up underneath here to kind of give some separation and dimension between the lip and the chin here. And I'm going to hit more on the highlighted areas in a minute, talking about highlight. But I want to get through my contour component here first. Okay, so now that that's done, I can put my contour palette away. Once again, this was no scalpel needed by Arise Cosmetics. This particular one was palette B. Okay, now let's bring some highlight into this, some real highlight. I'm gonna go with a Drake product this time. Drake Cosmetics. This is part of their brand new Egyptian Goddess collection. This is a beautiful, beautiful collection. I did quite a few looks with these based on the Egyptian motif. And yep, I knew that that's what I did when I dropped this. I did break it up a little bit, so don't consider this what it usually looks like. I did drop this yesterday, but this is highlight. This brings light into your face. And so when it comes to these bright shimmery highlights, I feel like when I use a regular brush, I tend to overdo it. And so I like using this little flat fanned brush. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen these brushes before in collections and sets, and you've never really quite sure what to use these for. A friend of mine, her name is Ezra, who just came in a little while ago, taught me that this gives almost a perfect amount of highlight in an easy swipe. It covers a wide range and it does not over apply. Just like that. And again, what this is doing is it's bringing light back into the face in some of the higher points here around the eye segments. We're going to go right up the nose here. Oh, thank you, Rachel, for that tip. I'm gonna have my team write that down to remind me later, because that way I can do that off screen. But that's awesome. I'm glad to know that. So using that tip that Rachel has provided us, that we can help repress this back into place and not let it be so loose and fragmented. And so, see, isn't it nice when you have the cosmetics company people themselves come into the live and talk to you about it? Rachel works directly with Drake Cosmetics. She is, in my opinion, one of the primary faces of Drake. So if you don't follow her already, you should. She is on a few apps herself, and she does some amazing looks. Don't soak, just a light misting. Got it. Okay. So now, here's that highlight in the face. You see how it gives us a little bit of a shine back, because we mattified our face with that contour, remember? So now we have a little bit of shine and shimmer. We've got highlight brought back into the face. Now, keep in mind also, I have a lot of light on me right now to do my makeup. So all of this is going to adapt just slightly when I change to a more natural lighting. But this just allows me to see where I'm putting the product and making sure that the product is in the right place. So don't let this fool you. Okay. Now, here's another thing that I have learned from my friend Rachel here is don't be afraid of your blush. Do not be afraid of your blush. It's okay to use more blush than what you may have intended, because it works as long as you get a good blend. you can make blush work no matter how much you try to use. And I'm trying to find the right color here. Oh, that's the one I want. This really, really nice, beautiful, bright pink. This is by, again, Arise Cosmetics. And this particular one is 123. So when you go onto their website, they label their blushes in dates that mean something to the owner. And so this is 123 or 12-3. And so we're gonna get us a good little bit on our brush here, tap out the excess, and stipple in our color. She'll love a good blush. She is a sucker for blush, y'all. You should look at some of her looks. She definitely knows how to use that blush in the most amazing ways. So what we're doing here is now we're adding color back to our face. Remember, we muted the crap out of it when we put that contour on, and then we put on foundation over the top of that. Not contour, concealer. Concealer, then foundation. That gave us a mute. And then we went in with shadow and light, and so we put dark and light in there, but no color. Here's our color coming back into our face. And I'm gonna take a step out of my comfort zone. I'm gonna step into Rachel's comfort zone. And we're gonna go a little heavier. Okay, y'all saw that with the translucent powder, kind of tone it back down. And as a matter of fact, I am gonna do that. I am gonna do that because even though this is looking really nice, always get the tip of the nose because the tip of the nose is the furthest point out in front of your face. This is where the sun is hitting, okay? When you get a sunburn, where does it come? Here and here first. That's where the color comes from. These are the parts that are exposed to those elements more. When you get cold and your face turns rosy red, where does it run rosy red? The cheeks, the nose. These are the high points. These are the first points that get hit. Let's see. And actually I do like that. It's blended in fairly well. I'm gonna take my blender here and sort of add a little bit more blending on the outer edges, just to kind of give it a bit more of a natural feel. And I'm not going to need to use her tip today to tone it back down. So, now that we have our face done, we're going to move into some of the more intricate details of the face. We're going to give the face more uniqueness. We're going to put some of the individual components and pieces back together. I'm going to start off by going into my brow. So the brow here, this is a space that a lot of people have struggles with. One, because they're not sure about the shape of their brow. They're not sure what to do with their brow. Look at the brow like anything else. It's just another segment here of the face, and you have to treat it very differently than you do other components. There's hair here. Your brow has all those fine little hairs, and so one thing you want to do is start to train those. Just short of removing unwanted ones, you've got to train them by combing and brushing them just like you do your regular hair, and get them to move in the direction that you want. And one way of doing that is by using a pomade. This is by Arise Cosmetics, yet again. And this particular pomade is called Auburn. They have 10 different shades. I have here the soft brown, and now the Auburn. As you can see, just some slight differentiations in those tones and colors. I caught that at the last minute, by the way. And so I like to use a smudger on mine because it allows me a little bit more control. Some people like to use a brush. Some people like to use that little comb that I used, but I like the smudger because it gives me a little bit more control, and I can control about how much is getting put into place as well. So very lightly I coat all the way across the brow, and because it's tinted, I can just follow along with the shape that I'm wanting, and it's going to do a lot of the fill-in work for me. A lot of folks, when you look at your brow, you'll have segments of the brow that are missing, that are thinner than others, and that's just because of your unique structure. Your body, your individuality gave you bushier brows or thinner brows. It gave you parts of the brow that are missing, that are cut off, that don't grow. Nothing wrong with any of that. Again, just individual components that make you, you, and nobody else. One of my favorite phrases, always be your authentic self. And being your authentic self is also making your components that you have work for you. The brow that you have, make it yours. It is your own. Nobody else has it. So utilize it. If you want to thin it out, thin it out. If you want to make it bigger, make it bigger. If you want to change the shape, change the shape. It's yours. You don't have to have one that looks like everybody else's. So have fun with your product, have fun with your unique features, and let those features work for you. This is the fun part of makeup. This is the fun part of dealing with cosmetics in these ways, because it allows you to express yourself. It allows you to show the world exactly how you're feeling, exactly who you want them to see. Shows the world how you interpret yourself. And you know what? There's nothing anybody can do about it. Because you're not harming anybody doing this. You're not causing anybody any issue in their own lives by you just expressing yourself. Again, you're simply creating a work of art that is your own. You're using the natural canvas that God gave you, which is your own face, your body, and you're turning it into something that you enjoy. That's how I look at cosmetics. Cosmetics is a way for me to express my own artistic talent. Again, remember early on in my episode here, I told you that I never felt like I had natural talent. I never felt like I had skills that came to me easily until I found cosmetics. And then I finally felt like I found something that worked for me. Something that I could do with fairly easily and with little effort. And I can make things that I love. I can make myself look the way I love. So, we have our brow there. All I simply did is put that pomade on, rubbed it through with a little bit of my brow brush, just to kind of comb it through. And pomade is going to do a couple of things for you. One, it's going to give you that tint. Two, it's going to help protect and treat your brow, because the products in this are going to help keep those brow in place while at the same time keeping them smooth and soft, and also just making them healthier all over. Remember, when we're using a lot of products on our face, one of the key things you want to look for is what it does for you. Is it going to cause damage to your face? If it is, you want to be very sparing with it, or not even use it at all. Or do you want to use a product that's going to be healthy for you and help your face as you use it? Drake Cosmetics is really good at that. All of their products are talc-free, paraben-free, gluten-free, they're vegan, every single product that Drake outputs meets those criteria. And so everything that I use from Drake is very healthy for me. It's actually beneficial in a lot of cases. I'm gonna dig into a lip oil here in a little bit and show you, but their lip oils are absolutely amazing products. For those of you that have and suffer from dry lips or cracking or anything like that, lip oils go a long way with treating the lips, not just handling the symptoms. Balm is good, but balm works on the outside surface. Oils dig in, oils absorb, oils get into the lip and help improve your lip from the inside out. And of course, on going back to the brow, I did use a CoverGirl pencil. This is my favorite brow pencil in the world. Easy breezy, beautiful CoverGirl. This is a rich brown, number 505. And that is just my go-to pencil when it comes to my brows. And I use that just for a little shaping, just to extend the tail a little bit so that I can shape my brow exactly the way I want it to be. Now, we're gonna head back to the eyes. Now we're gonna come back into the eyes that we did earlier. Again, we're bringing light to this situation. And so now we're gonna come back in and we're gonna give it some dimension. We're gonna give it some more detail. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is find my eyeliner, whatever the heck I did with the darn thing. Bear with me here. I have a very large array of eyeliners here. A lot of this is simply because you can get them in so many different colors, which is nice. These all here belong to NYX NYX, a very common and popular brand. I like this brand when it comes to my colored eyeliners because they do make some very vivid looks. And as you can see here, I have a very large array of the colors, but none of these are what I'm looking for this morning. What did I do with... Let me pop my glasses on real quick here. See if I can find whatever the heck I did with my Drake Cosmetics liquid eyeliner. Is that it? Nope, that's not it. Nope. Well, I appear to have misplaced it somehow. So, in the meantime, I guess I will go with a different version of their product. So instead of using the liquid eyeliner, I'm going to use their gel liner today, which this means that this is going to allow me to use a brush. And so since I'm using a brush, I can go with some slightly different interpretations of the liner. So some key differences in what you look for when you're looking at eyeliners. You can use a pencil. Pencils are really easy to learn with and work with because they are a pencil. You've used pencils your whole life. You just go very, very easily, light glides, and let the creaminess of the pencil work for you. Another option would be to go with something like these, a little felt tip pen. This is a particular one is Physicians Formula. It's one of my favorite funds because they have very, very good fine points. The problem is with these is sometimes that felt tip likes to grab and pull. And so you want to be very easy, and also the felt tips tend to dry out very easily. Then you have liquid. This one is an e.l.f. product. This is liquid liner. This is similar to what I was looking for. I do like the gel liner, Rachel. And I'm going to get back to that in just a minute here. And so this is a liquid liner, and this typically uses a brush. Very good if you want a very easy, smooth glide. The one thing about liquid, though, is you want to be careful because it does spread very easily. It does bleed a little easily if you overuse the product. And then you have gel. Gel liner here. Think of gel liner almost like the old colonial days where they would take a quill and they dip it in their ink, and then they do. It's the same concept, except of course it's not going to spill out. It's gel, so I can very easily control how much or how little I put onto my brush. And I can use different brushes with this, which means I can achieve different shapes or different designs. I can go thinner, I can go wider. And another thing about these is they're very vivid. I do like this gel eyeliner by Drake because it lets me achieve the look that I'm looking for, utilizing a brush, which sometimes can give me a little more control. And it also helps to prohibit me from overusing the product. It doesn't bleed as easily as a liquid liner would. So it's only gonna... Yeah. Just like Rachel said there. Matte in color, so it doesn't add shine. It's waterproof. So if you have an eye that waters a lot, this is a really good option for you. But like I said, one of my favorite things about it is if you're careful with it and you use small amounts at a time, it's very hard to overuse. You just be gentle, you be slow, take your time, be patient. And I will admit, it takes a little skill to get used to using it. Because as with liquid or felt tip pens, all you have to do is glide and it's really applying to it. But with this gel, it does the same thing, but when you're using small amounts at a time, you have to re-get some more on the brush. Because again, using a brush gives you a different outlook, a different feel. It applies differently. But it also means it's going to be used a little differently. Anytime you use a new product and a new design of a product, you have to kind of reteach yourself how that product works so that you can achieve the look that you're looking to make. Oh, I've missed you too, Tabitha. How have you been, love? You got to come find me here more often. This is where I am now. Unfortunately, I am no longer on the previous app, with the exception of my secretary who is managing the account for me. So we'd still post, but we don't have the ability to go live there any longer. How have you been, Tabitha? We're just in here talking about cosmetics today. Aw. I'm sorry, love. Okay. There we go, as you can see. Oh, good. Okay, good, Tabitha. Hopefully they can help get you back on track and help you to feeling better. The cough needs to go. Go. I'm going to add in a little bit of accent right up here. Yeah, Tabitha, I know. Some members of my team have picked up the cough and they're already wanting to get rid of it as is. Coughing's never fun. Okay. Now, see how much dramatic difference that looks there. I'm not, Tabitha. I'm actually using a combination of the Batty Peach and the Wild and, the Wet and Wild quad from Arise today. I had a few loose strands of brush there I needed to get out of my way. Okay. And there we go. As you can see, not nearly as much bleeding as would occur with a liquid eyeliner. And again, I'm still kind of learning how to use this medium, so I am moving quite a bit slower than I normally would. Until I start to really get the feel for how this operates and how it flows. Again, in this particular instance, unless you're very well experienced with this particular medium, this might not be good for an everyday use. Of course, I say that, and I have seen some people that have used this with dramatic success. But again, each person has their own level of skill, their own abilities that all go into play. And of course, practice always makes perfect, right? But I love the fact that this is a mattifying liner, because it, again, is not bringing in more glimmer to this look. It's just giving me the feel. Ooh. What have you used your gel liner for, Tabitha? Just simply the outer wings, maybe? And I am going to clean this up a little bit in a minute, because I did go a little heavy on this side. But that's okay. And take myself just a little bit of my cellular water. And sort of clean this up just a little on this bottom end. Then, of course, we always blend it right back out. Okay, interesting. There we go. Just like that. It's very vivid, very bright, I would say, this particular color, which is not a bad thing. Oh, we've missed you too, Tabitha. So, now that we've done that, we're now going to come back in and we're going to do a little bit more detail with our shadows. Okay, so again, we're going with some light and dark. I'm going to pull out my little edging brush here. I love using this for the finer details of some of my eyeliner looks, as well as getting up underneath water lines and things of that nature. So I'm going to come in here with just a slightly different color here. I'm going to come in with a little bit of this more of an orangey reddish tone here, right up on that lower eye. Give it just a little bit of a pop. And again, this is also bringing a little color back into play. Let's do the same on this other side. I'm going to take this exact same color and I'm going to give us a little bit more of an accent on the inner eye here. Subtle, but adding back to, actually I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to change my brush for this. go in with this number 4 from Arise Cosmetics. It's more of a detail brush. I'm not sure what the name of this particular brush is, but it's got a very specific angle. It's rounded, which means it gives a very specific shape. And so it's going to cover a little bit more area, which is what I need right now. And by bringing a little bit of this red into this light here, we're going to allow things to start to blend a little bit better. That little bit of red is going to give a little bit more attention back to the brightness of the gold and the silver. It's going to have its own ability to pop. It's going to change up the dynamic of the eye a little, which is what we're looking for here. Okay, I'm going to go back with our gold using the same brush I just had, and I'm going to give a little wisp up underneath here just to kind of tie this lower half of the eye in a little better. Now, I want you to notice how that gold that I used up here is not nearly as bright and vivid down here. It's because I didn't put that base yellow underneath. Because all I want here is I just want a little bit of the color just to help tie the eye in. Okay. Now, I'll go back to my edging brush. I'm going to pick up my bright silver, and we're going to really etch out this wing here just a little. I want to bring it back out. I want to definitely enhance the fact that there is a differentiation between the wing and the yellow. So just really adding that toning in there. Give it that brightness. Morning, Dustin. How are you, love? So glad everyone's starting to find us over here in JEM's new home. For anybody that has come in recently that is new, please make sure you are following our primary channel, the JEM Support Network. Go in and subscribe to that channel so we can get their numbers up so that we can transfer the lives over there. This particular channel here is my own personal private page. This is where I'm going to start putting out more of the makeup collab looks. We're gonna start doing some more makeup reviews and things like that here over on this channel. And then we're going to reserve the JEM Support Network channel specifically for all the positivity and the supporting messages that we use. So just kind of opening us up a little, expanding us more into those that are here because of me and those that are here because they believe in JEM. Those that are here because they love the support and the engagement that JEM provides. Because there is a separation. A support network is designed to be a support network, to be helping each other. It's building a community together. Okay? And here, me as an individual, I'm one person. I'm not an entire network. I cannot possibly be there for each and every single person that needs something. As much as and as hard as I try, I just can't do it. So I've developed and pulled together a team, and my team and I are creating a community of people that can be there for you when you need them most, that can be there to support and provide you engagement when you need to reach out and talk to someone. So, with that, we're going to continue to move on. We're going to go into our brow, our lashes, and this particular one I am using, again, another Arise product. I use a lot of Arise products right now because I am still working on building my Drake collection. So I do still have a lot of Arise. So we're gonna come in and we're gonna put some lashes back in now. I typically don't. I am starting to experience a little bit with this particular product, having a clumping issue. But that is simply because I know for a fact that this particular one is getting dry. It's wearing out. Let's see. Where is it? I have a spare. And I've been using the spare some. But the problem I have with the spare that I bought, I had the idea. I was like, you know what? I'm going to save myself a little money. I'm going to buy a different version of theirs. This was the same formula that is in this particular bottle, but as you can see, it uses a much different brush. And for me, the brush is everything when it comes to your mascara. If you don't have the right brush, you're not going to get the right application. So looking at these brushes here, take a look at these. See how different they are. This is a silicone-based brush. It is very angled. It is very precise. It's a bit wider in the bristles here. And for me, these apply so much better. This is a fabric brush, as you can see. And it's also a very, very huge brush. This brush might be good for people with gigantic lashes. Huge lashes and things, when you're using that, it might work and function very well for that. But for me, I have small lashes. I have small little hairs here. And so the lighter brush gives me a lot more control. Okay, so blue, as far as the dinner lives are, as of right now, we have not determined how we're going to handle that yet. That is on a docket for me and my team to address soon. But unfortunately, I don't have any information for you as to how we've decided to work that. So as soon as me and my team have worked out a solution, we will definitely let everybody know. We will get it into a schedule, let people know in advance so we know what we're cooking. And we definitely are going to try. We're trying to bring back some things that we've done always at JEM, but at the same time, there are some things that we have had to change because we are working with a different medium here. YouTube operates quite a bit differently than our previous app. And so we have had to make some adjustments as to obviously the type of music that we listen to. That has obviously changed. We have changed how we conduct the lives themselves, because as of right now, I cannot physically see the lives. My eyesight has just gotten so bad that the comment sections within the YouTube channel here on mobile is not functional for me to read. And so this is why you see the little earpiece here. I have my team in my ear, and they are actually reading the comments to me, which is why there might also be a slight delay in when you type it and I actually respond. So again, we're working through these problems, we're working through these solutions and finding different routes and avenues. One thing you may have also noticed, my content has gotten to be quite a bit longer. I can now do much more in-depth communication when it comes to some of the messages that we use and how we express them. Right now we're doing the words of the day, and a lot of those videos I can typically do is I'm doing between 3 and 5 minutes long, because I can get out more information. I can really dig in a little bit more and give you guys a bit more content. Our lives, like right now, the lives that we're engaging with, we can repost these in full, so that if you've missed any portion of it or if you missed the whole thing, you can always go back and rewatch and re-engage and participate even though you weren't here at first. And so a lot of these changes and things that we are engaging with and learning how to adjust. And so as with anything, change happens and JEM adapts. This is what we do. Do you, Blue? That's awesome. I love it. And for me, it's also been very surreal. And by the way, that is lip oil. This is by Drake Cosmetics. This one is Queen's Decadence. Took me a minute there. It's got beautiful hints of honey and fig. Very, very smooth, very... You can feel it doing what it does and helping to absorb into the lip. This is part of their brand new Egyptian Goddess collection. Very, very wonderful product. Ever since I started using the lip oils at Drake, I have really started to fall in love with them. Excuse me. But anyway, adapting and overcoming. This is what JEM does. JEM adapts, we overcome. We find a problem, we work it out and work out solutions together. And what is going on here? How did I lose the cap to this pencil? I'm just losing everything today. So, I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try. Let's see here. Oh, well, okay, well that's great. That means we did successfully adapt and adjust some of our engagement here. Trust me, it was a bit touch and go in the beginning. We really struggled with trying to find a good match. We really struggled to find a good fit and how to deal with these new regulations and rules that we now have on us, but they are working. We are finding ways to grow. Let's see. Bear with me here. I'm trying to decide. want a good lip color to go with today. While I think of that, I guess I'm going to put in my Telltale beauty mark that I always use. There we go. And let's see here. I think I have an idea. I think I know what I want to do here. So bear with me. I am going to go with a red lip liner. Can you say that again for me, please? You were very muted. Yeah, that's right. Thank you, Dawn. And over time, people will find us. Those that are missing us will find us again. Those that need us will find us and stick around. You're welcome, Dawn. Okay, so this right here, this is little A. This is one of the most popular liquid matte lippies that is available at Arise Cosmetics. One of the best things that I love about Arise's lippies is this took me away from all of my other lippies. I'm a lippy girl, always have been. But this right here took the cake when it came to lippies. So smooth, so creamy, so vivid in color. And I love the design. These designs are so beautiful. And they do such a wonderful job. Definitely go get you some of these. No, yeah, of course it's not easy, especially when it comes to lighter skin tones and things of that nature. Yellow is very hard to pull off. So again, I didn't try to engage and pull off yellow. I looked at it more as looking at light and illumination. And so we're bringing light to this look that I have today. As you can see, I have a darker shirt on, but there's a reason for this. This shirt has a very unique design to it that is going to play in with what we're going to call this look today. I haven't revealed it because I don't want to kind of give it away yet. And of course, I am using the liner pencils from Arise Cosmetics as well. I have quite a range of colors. This particular one, they do them in numbers. This is number 3, in case you're wanting to get and do the same look at some point. Thank you, Dawn. I'm going to take this same color right here that I used on the inner corner of my eye and on that underlining waterline. I'm just going to take a little bit here on my finger. This is one of my favorite tips and tricks for a more dramatic look. And again, working with color, working with shade. That lighter tone of that little A with that little hint of red that it carries worked and translated well with this color. So now this matches this much better. And just like that, where are we? Hour and 38 minutes in? Nope, sorry, 138 minutes in. We have completed our look for the day when it comes to the makeup portion. Now we throw in our accessories so that we can finish this look off. In my case, and I do look at my glasses as an accessory because eventually I'm going to be transitioning over into contacts next appointment because I'm going to give that another shot. I've not used contacts for several years because of some troubles I got into with my eyes when I was younger. But I feel I'm ready to give that another try, give it another attempt. So, in reference with this, let's see, we are gonna go with my Arise necklace. This is in a dark black finish. Again, it kind of is to match in with the motif a little bit. As soon as I can find the clasp. Come on. There we go. Got you. There we go. And let's see. I'm gonna go with another go-to of mine for the earrings. I do love these. These are some of my absolute favorites. These also happen to be my secretary's favorites. And so in case you haven't noticed, over on our old platform, you have seen a few extra images and videos with my secretary popping up instead of me. That, by the way, is by design, because she now is managing and operating that side of our network, because I don't have that app any longer. So unfortunately, the videos and the only way to get in touch with me from over there is through her. And that way we can help maintain that presence over there. We can help draw those that are missing us to where we currently are. And that way nobody gets left behind. Nobody is left without a network to provide support and engagement. And so, oh, thank you all. You guys got very talkative there for a second, my team is telling me. But they did tell me all of your comments, and I appreciate each and every one of them. I really have missed having all of you in here all at the same time. My lives haven't quite felt the same. Even though we have made some adaptations and adjustments, and I'm starting to get used to those, it was still missing that component of engaging with you all. And so I'm really, really glad that we're starting to find ways of adapting and dealing with that. Um, putting my team in my ear was their idea, so that I could still engage and be part of a conversation with you guys, even though I couldn't see the screen at the time of my makeup. Because, as everyone who's been here before knows, my eyesight is so terrible. And we're going to find a solution for every problem. And sometimes this is all it takes. It takes a team of people to work out solutions, to give options for us to try. I'm trying not to piss my team off right now because they hate it when I comb my hair. They feel I'm so aggressive with it. And there we go. Have our look done for the day. I've got a young one starting to arise over there. Give me just a moment. Let me adjust some lighting. Good morning, young lady. Okay. Go on. I'll be there in a minute. And here we go. The final look for today. All made out. And for those that were wondering, yes, I am wearing a peace shirt today, and we're calling this look Peace in the Dark. Because even though we may be wearing and maybe in dark situations and dark times, we can still find peace. We can still pull some illumination. She just realized. I'll be there in a minute. Okay, I'm coming. We can still bring light to a dark situation. This is why the look was built and designed the way it was today. It's actually a play off of our Word of the Day series. Yesterday's word was illuminate. And so today we're going to have a new word, and we're going to build off of that, and we're going to communicate. We're going to continue our words of the day for a few weeks as we at JEM start working on new projects and start getting ourselves new direction when it comes to what kind of content we can bring you, including dinner lives. We're going to work on that situation. We're going to work on a lot of things. We're trying to bring back as much as we can, and at the same time we're adapting to the things that we can't. There are some things that we were doing in our previous platform that we just can't do here, just simply because of how things work, how it operates, the restrictions that we currently have under the new platform regulations and rules. But the good things are outweighing the bad. You can now plug us up on your TV if you have one of those smart TV systems that have YouTube, and you can watch us on the big screen. You can go about your day and do your things while still listening to all the messages that you got from before, and still engage and still be part of the network. All of our other systems are still there. Our communication network is still there on Discord. So go join that if you need a support group. Go join and subscribe to our primary page, which is where all of my lives and my positivity videos are going to go. We have so many things in store this year that we're building towards, and we can't wait to share them all with you. So, with all that being said, I want to thank each and every one of you for being with me this morning and watching me as we go through my makeup and getting ourselves ready for the day. I believe our morning lives are going to start adjusting and adapting specifically towards that. And I'm going to talk with my team about bringing in a different kind of live a little bit later in the day, at a time when more people can join us across the country and maybe from other parts of the world, where we can all sit and have a chat and discussions like we used to in the mornings. I know some of you might be missing those, but again, with the restrictions to the lives that we have and some of the other things, it's hard to piece all that same stuff together all at the same time. So I think it's best to keep our makeup and our get readies together with this, specifically this, getting ourselves ready together. And then after this, a little bit later in the day, maybe we can start bringing in some conversational lives. So thank you all once again for being here, for being part of a network, for getting ready with me and starting your day positive and full of love. 8 subscribers away from going live on the main page. So please get out there, share the network. Share the network channel so that we can get those remaining lives that we need. And we're going to move forward and continue. Have yourselves an amazing day today. Don't forget to always be your authentic selves. And I will see you tomorrow.